What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So I have another manga recommendation, obviously, but this is one where I'm gonna need you to kind of watch through the majority of it so that I can get into like the real good stuff. I mean, like, I gotta get past, the basic kind of information if you really want to know what's going on in this manga and what makes it different from the general types of this story that I'm sure you've seen before. So today I'm recommending A Warrior Exiled by the Hero and His Lover. And I know already that's like a flag for some people because they know about these people getting kicked out of their party manga and they don't want anything to do with it. That's why I'm saying let it play and you'll see the differences. So the authors are Yoshiki Kanata and Tokugawa Lemon. So far it's 27 chapters, but it's usually one chapter a month. Its tags are action, adventure, fantasy, romance, seinen, and there is a harem tag, but it is completely not a harem, like at all. Honestly, don't know why it has that tag because there's nothing harem about it. As far as the main character and the main story, there is a harem in it, but that's like the bad guy, so not sure why it gets the harem tag. It shouldn't at all, but it's there. So like I already said, this is another got kicked out of my S rank party manga, but it's done much better than a lot that I've seen. And I've seen a lot of them. So this story focuses on Toru, who gets kicked out of his main first S rank party. I don't remember the name of the party. I don't even remember if it had a name. If it does, oh well, doesn't matter. He's not in that party anymore because he gets kicked out because they're like, hey, you're too weak. Classic manga. He starts his new party called Manu Brigade, which is made up of Toru, obviously, his fox girl slave, Cade, Frau, a fairy girl who's like the size of Tinkerbell, and a floating eye monster named Panda, and they go on adventures. Again, on the surface, this is just like a general guy got kicked out who is actually OP and the best, and he forms his own party and he still adventures. So on the surface, yes, it is. I'm just gonna go through it real quick so we can get to the good stuff. So Sane is the bad guy and he's the original party leader who has some power from his Eye of Temptation, which enslaves females under his level. So obviously he uses that to destroy Toru's life because they were best friends, and I guess that's what best friends do. So Sane uses it on Lisa, who is Toru's fiance, not even his girlfriend, his fiance, and he brainwashes her, and then he kicks him out of the party where he had brainwashed the other two girls in it. So Sane is, a piece of crap. Don't worry, this is kind of a I got kicked out of my party / I'm gonna get revenge on you story, but not in a like I'm gonna go after you and kill you kind of way. In a much better, more fun way, at least in my opinion. So after this happens of Toru getting kicked out and finding out that Sane is getting with his fiance, this is the first instance where my love for Toru kicked in, because most MCs, when it comes to these stories, just like they'll cry and leave or, something not dramatic or something really dumb. But Toru, he just goes to straight trying to kill Sane. I mean, he obviously doesn't, but my boy just starts decking him and he's gonna put that work in on his face, which I love. For me, that's when I was sold with this manga because of the response. When that's the first response, to me that means that this manga is going to be better than the classic, oh no, I'm kicked out, I'm sad now, which it obviously already is. So after he actually leaves the place, he fights some demon dog, and his personal ability, Saving, finally unlocks, which is called Saving because it basically saves all the experience he accumulated from skills in fighting and training and gives it a massive boost. So while everyone in his previous party was level 40s, Toru was only level 20 because the majority of his experience got saved until basically the progress bar was full and the saving skill broke, giving him every XP he gained but boosted. So now Toru's level 300 with OP skills that, as his broken skills recover, grant him those skills, abilities, and XP in even greater degree, which I much prefer to just, you get kicked out and then you find out that you're OP. I kind of like this one, and I really like Skill Lender, which this one, it's like, okay, he did the work, but he didn't get the reward until obviously his main skill was filled. But now that he's level 300, he just wants to travel the world and get over his first heartbreak. So the first thing he does is he goes and he buys a slave. Not for those heartbreak reasons, but because he feels like he can't trust anybody. So a slave allows him to trust someone because they obviously are incapable of betraying you. So he buys Cade, and she goes through the Raftalia thing of being small and sick and then leveling up into an adult. My favorite part of this manga though is the story, because as Toru goes around adventuring with Cade, he's destroying Sane's life by sometimes inadvertently and sometimes purposefully doing the hero's objectives, like killing a dragon or acquiring some hero weapon or conquering a dungeon, and he just keeps doing it over and over again, which is driving Sane more insane, no pun intended, but I love it because screw that guy. And I assume at the end they'll fight and Toto will either kill him or imprison him, whichever happens. But so if you've read a manga like this one, it's not a super action heavy manga. It's a lot more focused on the adventures and hero stuff as Cade levels up to like 200 and something, and they just kind of do their own hero thing while screwing Sane's life up, and it's fantastic. I mean, at one point they free one of the girls from Sane's mind control, so I assume that's gonna happen with the two other girls some other time down the line, but it's nice that it's not a typical kicked out, gather a harem adventure story. I mean, him and Cade are probably most definitely in love, at least I know that Cade is 100% in love with him, and I'm sure that he is, but he's still trying to get over the brainwashed fiance thing, but I'm sure at the end they'll officially end up together, and that's something that I really can't wait for, because both of the characters are so good. Is Cade the stereotypical female, incredibly gorgeous, slave beast girl who's also mad OP? Yes. Is that a problem? No. Is the MC a mad OP guy who is probably too nice for how strong he is and the crap that he was put through in the beginning? Yes, most definitely. But instead of like the typical, I'm gonna get revenge by trying to murder you all, or I'm going to do absolutely nothing about the fact that you guys betrayed me and I'm just gonna go off, find my own harem that becomes the best group in the world, and I'm just gonna live like nothing ever happened. No, that's not what happens at all. Instead, they kind of screw up Sane's life, which they should, because he's a piece of crap. And when it comes to like revenge things like that, I enjoy them. So the art style itself, it's pretty good, but it does get better as the manga goes on. It becomes a lot cleaner and a lot more crisp. This isn't gonna be like an incredibly action heavy manga where the focus is on fighting and slaying the demon king or whatever it is. Honestly, I don't even know if there is a demon king or if they're just like trying to be the hero in the sense of saving the world by killing monsters and being the best adventurers. But that's okay. I'm sure we'll find out along the way. But as it is, a story about a guy who got kicked out, put his mitts on the dude, and is going around just being better than him at everything, and everybody is turning and starting to hate that guy, like literally everybody. That's my kind of story. A revenge story where you just become better than that person and their life goes to hell because of it. If you want something like that, kind of slice of life adventure fantasy, I think this is a great recommendation for you. Other than that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the TooTaku podcast. All links to everything else are in the description boxes down below. Other than that, I will see all of you in the next one.